got another job finished off the list. Tricky as hell, but the rear window now works. And all it was is a pig to do. If ever yours comes off the runners on these Golfs, there's two little, that clips into a nylon wheel, left and right. There's a pig of a one down there, which you won't be able to see. You might be able to see it, but it's in that runner. But that one you can see down there, through there, just there on the left. They popped out, so I used this off my rail saw in the workshop, and that saved the day. Saved me having to take all the motor out and everything. So I lined the nylon wheels back up again, and with a bit of force and a bit of patience, they've popped back in. So that's another job done. Love it. Hi guys, well, it's a glorious Monday morning and I should be in the workshop getting on with some work, but there's one job that I've got to try and look into this morning, otherwise it'll be on my mind all day, and it's going to rain later. So that leads me on to what the problem is. So one step forward, this car has been a bit of a tester at the moment. Repaired the back window that had just come unclipped, but it was a pig to do to get out and access. So that took longer than it should have done, but I know how to get around that now, so that's all working. I pulled forward, pulled back, and then without any warning, the passenger front window just dropped. It's been fine for the week I've had it. I've been up and down, tested everything, but no, it literally, as I repaired the back one, the front one went as well. So this is a bit more involved. This could need a new regulator. So let's have a look at what we've got. So flipped it over 180 and think we found the problem. That little yellow lug is intact. It's 1 inch long exactly, but this one here, it's definitely snapped there. That's where it's failed, and that needs to be pulled down this way to that. I don't think any super glue is going to hold that. So at the moment, the whole thing looks like it's failed on that point, and that wheel wouldn't be there for no reason, would it? So this slack here clearly doesn't look right. So I think that's meant to travel all the way up there and bring that back, that all the way up to there. If you look, there's a little keeper there, and there's one just there as well, and I'm pretty sure that that has snapped out of there. So I don't think I'm going to be able to get that part, so I'll have a little look now and see if I can, but you'd have to disassemble it all, and it's all probably sealed in and braided at the end. So it looks like I'm going to have to fork out for a new regulator for this, but that looks like the only place it's failed to me. So we've taken the 5 Torex bolts that hold the regulator to the motor. It doesn't look great in there. That's all snagged, that cable. So this has been playing up for a long time and it's been forced up and down, and the motor seems okay, but that doesn't look right, does it? It's all snagged up. So I think we're going to quit. Instead of wasting time on this today, we're just going to order a new one for whatever they are, 50 quid on eBay, because I think this one's cooked. So the regulator's on order, but I'm a little bit old school. So the window's back in, and I've wedged a block of wood in there. I've screwed it in, being a carpenter, so that's logged that in. And just in case that fails, there's a big blanket at the bottom in case that drops for whatever reason, but it's well perched on there, so it should be okay. So we just await the delivery from eBay, and I was quite surprised at the price of them. Didn't matter where I looked, they're all about 20 quid. So that's quite cheap for all of that. But anyway, let's see how we get on when it arrives, and that's the next stage. So the new window regulator's finally arrived. So we screwed a block in there and put a blanket there in case the worst happened and that dropped down. So let's go and look in the workshop and compare the new regulator. So in the workshop, Christmas has come early for me, but this is a job that we wasn't expecting to do. It just literally failed on me as I moved the car. So there's the old regulator for the passenger side front, and here's the new one. It looks like they've simplified it in certain areas, which is never a bad thing, I don't think. This has got a big union on it here. On this is where the screen, the glass is held. This looks a lot different here. I was hoping that this is going to be okay. I just think it's probably a cheaper version, but why did they have all that yoke and now it's just this plastic housing? So anyway, as long as it works, that's the main thing. So our next job to do is take these 5 Torex out and get that motor transplanted into this new regulator. And it's a case of fitting it back in with the 5 bolts or 4 bolts. And fingers crossed all this works out. It wasn't very expensive, it was only 23 quid. So if it works, it's a cheap fix and it'll only take about an hour or so. So let's crack on. Well, so far so good. So we've removed the 5 Torex that was holding the motor, and there was these little screws underneath here as well which had to come out to release the original running path, that mould there for the cable. So that's history, and the new one come with its own one, so that's all knitted in. There's some grease come through there, which means it's all the spline's all connected through. So really it's the moment of truth. That took about 10 minutes, so far I'm happy. It does look very different, but let's see if it all works and make sure, because this one came with stops and stuff here. This hasn't got anything. I think it finds its own way, and then you nip up these afterwards once it's found its own level. So it's definitely a simpler version. I'm not sure how long it'll last, but it looks okay and it's new. So let's get it fitted and see what happens. What to do with a bank holiday weekend? Let's get this properly MOT ready. We had some issues with both of these windows, but that's all been repaired now. They all work, which is great. New regulator in the front, and the rear just come unclipped, but getting to it was all a bit of a nightmare, but that's all done. So I wasn't going to take it to the MOT with those broken. So we've given it a good wash over. The roof still needs a proper deep clean, but that's not going to affect the MOT. And all we've done is use a wash and wax, and I've used some gel, some proper auto glue gel on all the trim, and that's lifted all the swells out no end. It's taken a few years off of it. Gives it a fighting chance, but it's still got its war wounds. That insert was missing down there, so that was £7 off eBay. The window regulator was £22, 23 quid. So it's had a good scrub now, inside and out, and it looks fairly presentable. We didn't have any main beam headlights, but we do now. The mouse had chewed through the cable, so they've all been reconnected. A few other bits and bobs, but really, honestly, it's been fun doing this. So there's the interior, and that is what's saving this car. I mean, I've not even shampooed the seats or anything. That's the next stage if we keep it. But look, it's very good condition, this car. It just needs a bit of TLC. It's how far we go with it. It's got obviously black appeal. I'm not even attempted to take all this white paint off. I had a little go at it, but the coat on top's so thin, it probably wants to lift it, so we're not even going to bother. It's all clean, and it looks a lot younger than when I picked it up, so we'll see how we get on next week when it goes for its MOT, but I think she's ready now. That's deteriorated a little bit, but it's still readable. We might get pulled up on the tyres, but there you go. That's the final walk round. Just have a quick look on this side here. Again, look, no wear on the seats. I'll just put a couple of mats in. Look at that dashboard, it's unmarked. You know, it's in really good condition on the inside. There we go, folks. Ready for the MOT.